Everybody, and welcome to the stream of chaos. We are back with our fingers crossed after a minor technical difficulty for some Rivers of London. We are approaching the business end of our playthrough of the Font of All Evil, a still relatively new scenario available from Chaosium.com. I am James, and I'll be GMing it, and I am joined by this fantastic cast of folks, as I always am. We'll do a quick sum up of what's happened in the action so far, but first of all, let me throw across to this fantastic cast and get them to introduce themselves. Art, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. Now I feel like I have to speak in rhyming couplets. I don't wanna. I'm not caffeinated enough.
Immediately say the word couplet.
Couplets.
Num num num. No, I was just about to take the drink of coffee that I need to function, and I was like, oh no, I'm about to speak, so I probably shouldn't. Hi, I'm Art. This is who I am as a human. Who I am as a character, however, is a small fire goblin. Except not, because we're not legit fantasy, kind of. Pudding is a demimond capable of controlling fire, very eccentric, kind of does whatever first pops into their head, and I think is fair to say is very fond of I'm gonna say the family dog at this point. I feel like we're a weird family. The family dog. Best friends with the family dog. Yep. Whether the family dog is best friends with Pudding, no idea, but Pudding's best friends with the family dog.
Brilliant.
Family dog is best friends with whatever is about to devour that comes to that door.
No, fantastic. Thank you, Art. Next up, we have Jackson.
Hey, that's me. I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Police Constable Patrick Lewis, who is branching out from police officer to data entry engineer to apprentice wizard to, I guess community liaison officer occasionally. He's not very good at that. He learns more from Pudding. Actually, kind of just lets Pudding do the job. But, doing a sting operation as well. Doing a stakeout and a sting.
Cool.
That's going to be fun.
It's great.
There's so much to learn when you're apprentice wizard / police officer. You scratch all kinds of itches.
You wear many hats, and the wizard
That's right.
hat is sandwiched in the middle between a bobby cap and, I guess, like a data
What
analyst's
counts as
beanie. Yeah. Perfect. Dave.
Yeah,
of hats.
g'day. Yeah, speaking of hats. I am Dave. I'm playing Lucy, the aforementioned family dog. And although she has a sweet and fluffy exterior, she's mostly all about chasing down fleeing suspects and any chance to sink teeth into calves. So very excited for someone to resist arrest, to try and make a break for it, to disregard our legitimate warrant, and fight us so I can attack them. Is there maybe a bit of player character leaking through? Remains to be seen.
I can't make any promises, but I'm pretty sure that you may have an opportunity to indulge some of those desires. And last but least, we have
Thanks.
Oh, sorry,
Cheers.
sorry, Alex.
Legend.
Last but
Love
not
your work,
least.
Always
Jim.
gonna happen eventually.
I'm gonna make Dave bite you.
Yeah, let me bite him.
We have Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex, and I am the least only in that I am the shortest by a while. I am playing Bun Oslo, the accountant, may or may not have quit his job this tax season because, you know what, it's just not a very fulfilling career, and at 52 years old, I really just need to focus on myself and the things that I enjoy, which is paranormal photography. And a little bit of wizardry on the side, because it, kind of helps out with the paranormal photography and keeping this lot, making sure that they're hydrated and eating enough and, generally just keeping everything copacetic with the game.
Yep, always.
I wanna point out my favorite thing about both my real in-game family, and my chosen in-game family is that both of them have two parents of the same gender. My real family is two mums, and this chosen family definitely has two dads. And a dog.
Yes.
I like it.
And a dog.
2 dads and a dog.
I feel like
one of them is the
I
anxious
am
dad, one of them is the
responsible.
like down to earth dad, and there's also a dog. And I'm definitely just the manic toddler in the corner chewing on walls. And
Dad.
the dog watching me like, what are you doing? Chew bones, not walls.
Those are the
on.
wrong things to chew. At any rate, there are some right things that you're approaching. Where we left off our scenario last week is, as a quick reminder, our investigators are looking into some, well, primarily a murder, but more importantly, the weird vibes that have been happening, frankly, around London.
Dismal vibes.
Yeah, pretty recently. After looking into the murder of an Edgar Marsh, they have managed to track down a suspect. Until you kind of broke into the building, you were not broke in. You had a warrant and everything. Until you kind of got into his apartment, you were still kind of questioning whether he was a prime suspect or not. Some of you now you're a lot surer. This is some real prime suspect territory. And Coach's office, a typesetting office, is off to the side of one of the main streets and accessible via a small alleyway. You've gotten through the gate at the side, two of you that is, to say, Lucy and Pudding. You've headed in and you've headed upstairs. Barton, you are kind of set up in the courtyard outside, ready to swoop in and intercept two thick-necked thugs who have arrived, parked their van, making liberal use of the UK's ability to just U-turn and go wherever you want, apparently, which I did not know about. And yourself, PC Lewis, are crossing the street towards them, ready to intercept. So again, just the state of play. We have two of our investigators inside Coach's house. We have one investigator set up in one of the back rooms of a shop nearby, ready to just go across and intercept into the courtyard. And then in the middle of the street, we have these two thugs that are getting out. And PC Lewis, you have leapt out of the stakeout van and you are heading straight over. One final point where we really left off last was Pudding and Lucy. Lucy, you couldn't read this, I'm sorry, but Pudding, as you got up onto the second floor of the building, you saw a bunch of posters on the wall advertising Offset 2016.
Yes.
Exhibition at the Tate celebrating typography and printed art as an art form itself. We'll jump in from there. Also, welcome to our party of raiders. Hello. Hello. Let's get started. We'll begin with PC Lewis. So there are these two thugs getting out of the truck. What's your plan here as you cross over the busy road?
Well, I wasn't going to cross yet. My plan was to wait to make sure that they are going to go into the building. And then once it seems like they are going in, once they're kind of out of sight, I wanted to disable their car with a wear light. I haven't taken the spell Car Killer, which lets you just like chuck a car killer, spell at it. So I'm gonna have to get out and walk up to it, I think.
Yep.
But that's the plan. Once they're out of sight, just to disable the car.
Makes sense. Okay, so you
because as we know, magic fries electronics, and as I kind of vaguely know, but other people will know better. Apparently, most modern cars in the last 20, 30 years or so use like an electronic circuit to start the ignition or to change gears or something like that. That's all I know.
At any rate, if you cast a big enough spell near them, it tends to just shut down everything. And
that's it.
So you hop out of the car and sort of head just around enough that you can be eyeing the vehicle in question, but you haven't darted over to get to it yet. These two thugs on the other side, they do have names, but it'll be a nice, fun mystery to find their very generic and not particularly interesting names. Are jumping out of the car. One of them sort of speaking to the other, very businesslike, heads over to the back and starts opening it up. You can see that they've got a few pieces of equipment that seem to be focused towards moving heavy things. They've got some carts, crates, trolleys, things like that. And it kind of occurs to you, this seems to be a little bit of a moving day adventure sort of thing. anyway, the two thugs as they hang about. What the other one is kind of looking towards the building itself and is gesturing towards that alleyway that heads into the side of Coach's office. If you want to make a move, you're pretty sure they're going to head down in that direction.
But do I get the sense they're about to like start unloading the vehicle?
It's not got anything in it. If you were to make a guess, it's probably the other way round. They're probably intending
start
to
loading the
load
vehicle.
stuff up.
Okay, so they're going in and out. Okay, well, yes. Are they heading in? But they're not heading in yet.
They're about
deliberating.
to. I'm giving you a moment.
Very
you
good.
spot this. You can see that seems to be the a rapidly approaching plan.
Excellent. So there's probably not quite enough time to like run the license plates or anything.
You could
Unless
probably
I'm,
get your
like-
radio and try and do that. I think that would be the domain of probably a law roll to see if you can actually just get on your radio like subtly and send somebody else to run things.
Could I argue computer use to like do it real quick on my laptop or my phone or something?
I think that's totally reasonable. Yeah, make a computer use check. Let's go with that.
They're the same skill, but I wanted to give it a stretch.
Well, why not?
Here we go. No, it's a failure, and I don't quite think that's worth the luck. So
Pull out your phone, and the bars at the top are giving a really depressing 3G symbol. And after pressing a couple of times, damn it. This looks like it could be a rented van as well, or something like that, just at a sort of base level. But yeah,
Okay.
it's really hard to be sure of anything beyond that. The two thugs nod at this point. They grab up a couple of things and start to head in the direction of the grate
Alright.
to the alleyway.
So once they're out of sight and I'm out of sight of them, I'll duck across and just like jam a wear light near, maybe under the bonnet if I can, just to fry where I think the ignition is, and then get back to the van.
Okay, fantastic. I will get you to make a magic roll.
You would, wouldn't you?
That's exactly the kind of thing I am absolutely prone to.
Magic. Nice. 5 points off a hard. Do you need a hard?
Your Vestigia, or rather your Signare, is detectable for just a moment. Probably enough that the rest of you attuned to each other's, casting styles can detect it. Would you remind us once again, since it's been a little while, PC Lewis, what your Signare is?
To remind myself, let's have a look at my character sheet here.
Pretty
No,
sure
it's
it
a-
involves some
it's
fun
the,
stuff.
It's the TikTok. It's the TikTok inherited from Nightingale, but instead of a stopwatch, it sounds like a typewriter clacking. That's the sound. It's the smell of thyme, the herb, not the concept, and a sense of loneliness.
And now broken cars too, I guess, as you
Yes.
successfully managed to fry this.
Did
Jackson.
Scenarios develop as people
I'm
get...
Jackson,
I'm
where is
trying.
it? Where
I
is it?
lost it. I can't find the button.
Where is it?
Sense of loneliness.
There we go.
He's
There it
turning
is.
grey.
There it is.
Oh dear. Signaries absolutely do develop over time. In the books, as certain characters, train with particular people or develop other paths of magic and things like that. They get access to all kinds of different powers.
Imagine running into your wizard X in the context of getting a Signare and it's changed a bit, and then you're trying to interpret are they happier?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
And then you
Who's
realize,
that?
hang on, that's Mike's Signare. No, absolutely. All right.
I can absolutely see a weird, Regency-esque crossover into Rivers of
Oh,
London, where it just
dear.
becomes like a chick-lit romance concept.
Ooh.
Regency really is a banger, and any theme is just funnier in Regency.
Because
era.
of the
You put
repression.
anything on it. It's just repressed to hell.
So it's really just anything is funnier with repression.
Yes, that is. Quote me.
So these two
Oh, I
thugs
will.
are going to head right down the alleyway now. I'll say quickly as well, we have a user Cthulhu Hack here who is the writer of this scenario, which is pretty
awesome.
cool in chat. So fun stuff there. At any rate, they head down and they're talking pretty loudly at this point. Nothing super suspicious, just making conversation as they very clearly head towards that back door. The back door, which, by the way, you deliberately left open. so that you'd be able to get out relatively quickly. Button, you can hear their voices. You knew what to expect, and the two of you reaching upstairs, Lucy and Pudding, have the whole room in front of you. You've got this offset 2016 kind of material that's around. Now, you're also seeing gathered here and there is the evidence of, should we say, Coach's eclectic lifestyle. You're pretty sure that you spot immediately some of the books, Pudding, you're not a practitioner yourself, but those look like suspicious books. Maybe they're the ones that were missing from Marsha's apartment, but there's more important things to be concerned with. What are the three of you doing as these two approach? I'm just flag again. They look like moving houses is a secondary job to maybe thumping people.
Kicking ass.
I'm just gonna keep behind them.
Yep.
Die quietly behind them.
I'm going to assume Lucy operates on the assumption that someone is going to want to try and talk and de-escalate. She's familiar with that section of the handbook, and then she knows that when that section doesn't work, she's allowed to go. So I might try and sneak up on them, or like unless is
Do
if
we
it's
know
Go
anyone
that
another
stepping-
aside?
side. So like I make eye contact with the dog, like, yeah.
If anyone is
Just-
moving forward to talk with them, I will just flank them and be there in
Nah.
a threatening / chomping capacity. But if
Basically
one's
doing the
moving
same.
forward, I'll
Yeah,
sneak.
I'm doing the same thing as the dog. I don't have social skills.
We're on the same.
Quiet.
We're on the same
Okay.
No social
Which
skills.
means
I just
Pudding-
have a question because, like, sorry, just because Lucy and I were upstairs.
Yeah.
So we've established that Lucy and I know this is happening because I
Yeah.
feel like we failed some listen rolls at the end of last session and maybe weren't so aware. Or is it? Have we gotten to the point where like they are now coming inside?
We are now-
The change in circumstance is that they're at the door right now. Whereas if you'd
Right.
listened earlier, you might have been able to do some extra preparation. They're coming in,
Oh.
and you've only really got a second or two to do something. You are upstairs though, so they're not going to spot you immediately. Again, this is a long, thin building. The word terrace house is popping into my head, but I don't think that's actually what a terrace house is. It is okay. So
I think a long, thin, especially multi-story, I'm pretty sure is a terrace. Yeah.
perfect.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
I
you're.
got no idea.
I'm willing to be wrong with you, Jim.
Brilliant. So in this terrace house turned office, bottom
A very important. Sorry, go ahead.
bottom area being the sales front, staircase leading upstairs to a cross kind of like sitting room / what appears to have been turned into a workspace / living area and all that sort of stuff. What is the plan here?
If no
then?
one's stepping forward to talk, I'm going to try and hide them and sneak up on them.
You're hiding?
Um,
While you're upstairs, that's fine. Button, you were already past your stealth checks at the end of last session.
Yeah, intending to get towards them though. Like I want to
Yeah.
be with it. If it pops off, I'll leap out and bite.
Okay.
I feel like we need the actual badgered police officer to further this one, because
Potentially, I mean, look, at this point, unless Pudding, you can put the call through for Lewis, or you're all in contact. Otherwise, I mean, if you just
I
hide
will.
up here, you can.
we could just watch what they're doing.
My very
And be
important
like, "What's
question,
going on?"
Jim: is there a window?
Up on this level? Oh yeah, it faces the street.
The street that they're coming in on?
Yeah, the front of the. They would also actually logically there would be one on both sides. There's a small side window that looks out facing the alleyway, which they're walking along now, and then there is a window at the front of the building facing out onto the main street, where PC Lewis is currently parked.
Cool. Are they coming in through the one that's on the side alley?
Yeah, they've come off the main street and they're heading down this small kind of
Great.
gated alley into a courtyard
Great.
that services a bunch of different buildings.
I want to Benny Hill this shit. I would like
good.
to grab the books if there's like a couple of key ones. Because I want to remind everyone, while it is not technically a mechanical reason to use this, I feel like it is thematically appropriate. I have fast reactions.
Yes.
So I hear this happen. I grab as many of those books as I can and shove them in the rucksack that I carry with me at all times. It is usually full of food and thermoses and what have you. And there's probably a point where I take a bunch of food out and just leave it on the ground, knowing that Lucy will probably deal with it. And if not, great for them. And then, as they're coming into the door, I would like to be getting out of the window behind them so that they
That's
cannot
pretty
see me.
good.
That is hysterical. I love it. I think that first of all, what I'll ask you to do, I'll just ask for the common skills, and if you have a more applicable, expert professional skill, you just let me know. I think an observation roll makes the most sense for you to know what do I grab and just start scooping things up.
Can I go in on this? I think once things start getting thrown out of the backpack and the windows open, Lucy catches wind of the plan, and I'll just kind of go for athletics to try and eat as much cheese as possible out the window.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely.
Oh, that's annoying.
I think what we'll do, Dave, is actually because so you obviously you are a dog, and the many values of dog do not extend to climbing as much as us monkey descended folk do. So I think that given you take a bit of extra time to do this, minus eating the cheese, will negate the penalty die. And the idea is that you start trying to like slowly climb out in preparation.
I think what it looks a lot like is me, as when pudding starts to go, I jump like on pudding, and then just that dog like get off,
holding on.
I feel like I'm very happy to just be like, cool. This is. I also want to say like,
close, I just scrabble and leap to the ground. I did succeed barely, so
I did not. And that is quite a lot. That's a chunk of luck.
The chunk of luck, and offset 2016 is tonight before your luck resets.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I feel like I had a chance to notice. I think Pudding just grabs the things that look the most occulty to them. Actually, I have an occult skill, but it wouldn't have changed anything unless there was a chance.
I don't think particularly here. I mean, it's sort of the same thing.
I still fail either way, but I do have an occult skill. So if I can argue that I just grab the things that look the most occult,
I will.
Even though I don't know exactly which ones are the right ones.
Sure, I will factor that in. I can't tempt you to push the roll, could I? You don't think they're coming upstairs. From downstairs, you hear the sound. It's unlocked. Yeah, tracks as they head in and start moving through, and they're sort of muttering and talking about what's in front of them. You think it's possible that they'll just stay downstairs for a minute or two before they head up, and you could try and get another couple of handfuls of books out. The penalty of this, of course, will be that as they walk into the room, they're going to catch the edge of your boot lingering out the window.
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I'm also downstairs, and if they go for you, I can just stand in front of them. Like, I'm very well hidden downstairs, and if you are taking the books and leaving, my plan is to just watch them and be like, well, let's see if I can hear anything, pick up anything about where they're going next. Basically, just spy.
You've still got your cover story. You've still got I'm just... Pudding has still got this cover story of I was just here to talk about these keys.
So you start gathering stuff up as best you can, right at, that's a fail, correct, with an 81, considering the previous one was?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Yeah,
I'm for sure.
This is just, again, I'm very happy for at this point, Pudding to be going entirely on instinct, and their instinct is, gotta get books because they're important, and then if they're coming in through the door, I'm gonna go out through the window. Like, that is all that's gone through their head. It's a terrible plan, but like, that's the first thing I thought of, and then that's the thing that Pudding will do.
Makes total sense. So from downstairs, as you're gathering up these books, you can hear a little bit of conversation. They're talking about moving a bunch of stuff out of the apartment. There's going to be a pain. Do we have to get... Oh, sorry, the office. You're right, the workplace. Sorry. There's going to be a pain. Do we have to get all of it? No, there's some things. You hear, notably, one of them say, it's lucky we didn't have to move the whole big rig. Not really sure what that is referring to specifically.
Assuming the printing press.
Pretty good guess.
That's my assumption.
I'm just going to check upstairs, one of them says, and starts stomping up. The sound of their heavy boots kind of making the terrace house stairs creak. You, at that point, sprint towards the window. Lucy jumps, hooks onto your leg, and you manage to get out part of the way. You can hear the door opening, and you just sort of pull yourself through as quick as you can, hesitate, and then hear from inside a, what? And then hurried footsteps towards the window.
Never mind, you don't have the cover story anymore.
If I succeeded my athletics, am I able to pivot this into not leaving?
Yes, absolutely. You can.
So I'll cover.
All right.
Oh, yeah, because I think as soon as that happens, I think I just turn around to Lucy, and go, Lucy,
kill.
Fully, yeah.
What?
Lucy, sick him.
From outside,
we've got a warrant. We're allowed to attack. That's what warrants do.
from outside, PC Lewis, I just want to be clear.
As far as we know, they're breaking and entering. I don't know. Like, why are they here?
I don't think that.
You could ask.
I think someone should.
They're
talk
definitely
to them.
not
Okay.
breaking and
Again.
entering. All the doors were left unlocked by you.
I also want to point out at this point, Pudding is again just going on instinct
It
and
works.
like instant, like in Pudding's head, it's not, oh no, we've got a warrant, it's fine, I can talk to these people. It's, oh no, I got caught, Lucy.
Exactly. No, it's a good plan. All right. So, you pulling yourself forward, you yell sick at PC Lewis. You can see, like
And
you're
here through the wire.
I start barking
Yeah.
as soon as I like unleash barks as soon as these things come at me, and then I will only stop barking when my teeth are on, then.
absolutely, no, a very, very sensible idea. So you jump in, you start barking. You're gonna try your best to alert all the others / scare this person. I just want to hover for 1 second on the pure comedy moment of Lewis seeing the window above open and Pudding start to climb out, filled with books. And at that point, the barking starts. The person upstairs starts,
I have a
hey,
rucksack.
hey, yelling. You hear footsteps from downstairs. Barton, you kind of have the worst angle at this point on the action. You can see from the courtyard the downstairs.
Oh no, I'm inside. I followed them. If they, depending on how far in they went, I would have kept behind them because my thing was I was flanking them.
Yeah,
to come in
absolutely.
behind them.
So I've got you. I'm picturing you. There's this alleyway of the courtyard. They crossed into the building. You crossed the courtyard right by the door. So you're like, it's a small building.
Yeah.
so-
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like at that point at the door where it's like I've got a bit of a drop on them.
You
if
can
they come
step
out,
right in and go, exactly.
Okay.
But you also cannot see the front. You cannot see the upstairs. So therefore, you can see one of them is still downstairs, like looking around, holding this like really shitty plastic handcart, not looking ready to really move stuff. What do you do in the immediate? And it's fine to say like stealth roll and I get closer, like I'm biding my time, or do you kind of launch something here? You hear the barking
I
from
think
upstairs.
I'm good at the moment. I think I can't see the window that Pudding just launched themselves
Unfortunately,
out
not.
of.
It's on the main street side. You're down the
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah. But I could hear somebody ran up what sounded like stairs. Like
I don't know
that's
if it
pretty loud.
Absolutely, and
I
the
don't know if
barking.
it actually
is-
And the barking
matters.
would sound like it's from up.
Yes.
That's
My
the thing.
intention, sorry, was to go out the window of the door that they came in. So if they came in through the side alley, I was going out the window in the side alley.
Oh, okay, my bad. In which case, PC Lewis, you do not see that. Flip that around.
I do though.
You do. So
Like-
Cottonwood.
you see the egress. We'll just swap that a little bit.
Okay.
So I guess PC Lewis then it's flipping to you. I want to know what the person with the least visibility on the situation does, because that could be sort of like a precipitating factor that changes things.
I don't think I can do anything yet because I came in uniform. And so if I enter the scene, that's an escalation. So I think I'm stuck at the moment.
You can also hear a bit of the
Watch.
action that's going over on the airwave. If you want to give a last sort of like remember X, remember Y, don't do Z, or very much do H. What's the...
Well, I was going to suggest Pudding just talk to them, but it seems like that moment has passed. Just see if
I can absolutely
out what
stop
they're
halfway
doing.
out a window and sit on a windowsill and be like, "Hi,
Hello.
what's happening?"
So it's
I
not
think
the person we came to
sounds
see.
like
That's the
you
problem.
stay silent then. Was what
yes,
I'm hearing.
no, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's probably what I was in the middle of texting, and then getting the sense. I think through the wire
Starts
that Pudding is
barking,
going
yeah.
out the window.
In which
I
case
just
you
hit
hear
send
the,
anyway.
You hear the sickum. You get a text that's like, I really think that we should start to, and then like attempt to converse with cut off text. Everything sort of goes off at once.
Start backspacing, typing something else.
First thing I want to check then. So Barton, you can see that somebody is climbing out.
Yes, Pudding. Well, and it makes sense. These are not the people who we came to see and to talk to. So I think now we go to his house. His place of business. He's not here.
No, we
Sure,
go to
so you're-
Mindset Con or whatever.
You
No,
actually
he's sending-
might try and like not like extricate
Yeah.
yourself from the situation rather than stay.
Well, not without Lucy though. So I want to make sure I'm sticking in the doorway and making sure Lucy's okay. But I think if Pudding's climbing out the window and shimmying down, on the way past, I will probably just give a nod and head to his house. Then I'll get Lucy.
Perfect. All right, we've got a plan. But first of all, upstairs.
He's not here.
It's not quite.
No, but I will go. Convention. Because I haven't told anyone yet. So
yeah, true.
So
I'm like, what?
Yeah, we'll get there when
and then I'm like, okay. Right. I'll get Lucy out.
So we're not quite in combat yet, but pretty sure we're about to be. So jumping back up, I think inside there is a split moment, Lucy, where you are hackles raised, snarling. You are a big dog in a vest,
yelling their Miranda rights in dog and the English equivalent.
Which is that you have the right to have your throat ripped out, kind of stuff. Do you want to make an intimidate kind of check here or something? It'd be a social, I guess, but
yeah. Yep,
I have a good idea. Everyone except Lucy's out. The window's open. They're like large dudes, right?
Yeah, they're big, thick.
Bigger than a dog, bigger than pudding. Can I close and like lock the door behind them and get Lucy to jump out the window and catch Lucy?
That's a great idea. You absolutely could pull the door,
after
and even if you can't
they've
lock it immediately because you don't have the
because of the dog.
I feel like also they may have information. I think we do want to talk to them. I think subdue and question is good. I'm not gonna kill. I'm gonna like grab them and then someone. Well, I might kill one, but there's two of them, so that's fine. We've got a buffer.
We've got a spare.
All reasonable at this point. I will say though, I wanted to start with a social roll from you, Lucy, just to see what the scope of your. Okay.
How are they feeling about this?
Cop that. That's a hard.
So the big guy does not want to tangle with dogs. All the judo training does not translate to being able to. You're not wearing a gi, so this is all useless. He's holding a pair of gardening gloves. He's got as a moving thing. Sort of just tosses them towards you and starts backing down, going, no.
I'll follow him and herd him towards the others.
Harry! He starts yelling downstairs.
Get on the airwave to PC Lewis and be like, do you want to come in and question one of these blokes, or do we just lock them in and bail?
Well, I don't know if they were committing any crimes here.
Well, we've got a warrant. We've got enough on old mate who owns the place. So whether they're committing crimes or not, surely we can ask them about their boss man.
I suppose so. All right. So we'll
They are
all right. I'll come in and we'll execute.
association with the crime person.
That's it.
We'll execute the search in the open, and we can question them at the same time. That's a fine idea.
Probably before Lucy executes one of them.
Do you want to make a law check, Lewis?
To see if I'm, breaking protocols here?
Yeah, that'd be, or if you can more. I think more to the point, this is, can you find the loophole you're looking for here to be able to say this is how it works, or do you?
We have a warrant. We're in here investigating, and these people are subjects. Like if anything, it's just we are doing the warrant. This is a separate.
We're allowed to search the place.
Right?
I'm just going to come in and say we're searching the place, and also ask them questions at the same
And I'm gonna hope
time.
they
I don't
swing on me.
think we can detain them. I don't think they've done anything wrong.
Sure.
That's the only thing.
What I will,
We're not detaining him.
Basically, I'll lean onto you to make that law check. But what it is that you are clarifying just what powers you might have here in terms of detaining somebody, and it's not necessarily what you're gonna do as much as just what your brain feeds you in terms of what capacities you have. And with
success,
and basically exactly what you said, you have the ability to do this search. As far as detaining people or escalating into violence, different matter, but it might not necessarily be an easy choice. Lucy, you've scared these two down pretty successfully. You start barreling down the stairs, following them. Barton, you can see this action emerging. You are still extricating yourself through the top window.
I think if I can kind of make eye contact with Lucy and just do this and be like, if you can destroy their phones, like their mode of communications.
Yeah.
So they can't warn old mate.
So
if they go for a phone, a weapon, or in any way do anything, I will attack.
I mean, if it just so happens that you smash the
looking
screen of their
for an
smartphones on the
excuse.
way out.
So you've managed to scare them at this stage, the point where they're not willing to just attack you. But what happens is the unnamed one, the other one's called Harry, who is downstairs, staggers down away from you and gets to the back of the store. Harry, who is holding that placky trolley, holds it up like a bullfighting kind of rag and starts to point it at the top of the stairs and kind of keep you back. damn mutt, and is sort of gesturing with it towards you just a little bit, ready to, jab you
Is
with
everyone
it. should
trying to
you.
leave?
The other one, no, has just gone to the back of the store where it would be the front door, which is locked. The side door
I'm
into the
attempting to herd them together. As soon as one of them tries to leave and split up or in any way not do what I want them to do, I'm going to try and grab them. And
I'm on the way in.
I think you probably have enough. You probably corral them for just long enough to sort of like effectively. They don't initiate for another round of combat, which gives.
Put myself on hold pending anything I don't like, in which case I will be as close as possible and bite the hell out of it.
And that probably happens just after.
And I also will say,
two.
I stop barking so that I can record because the microphone is taped to my head.
Yeah, that's right.
Makes total sense. So with that in mind, everyone kind of gets like a one beat to do something before this is going to kick off, and you can see that this is a very like standoff sort of situation. Lucy is an inch away from just going into full attack dog mode. These two are really looking for a chance to just like whack her in the side and either chase her outside or God knows what. Pudding, I presume you're going to try and get down?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if there's some, I don't mind if the eventuation of what I do is fall heavily on my ass and then
What
like
do you
with a
mean?
scattering
I'm
of books and then put books back in and then like head back in through the door being like, what did I miss? A little bit like into the conversation. That my plan is to, again, Benny Hill this shit.
That's
I have
perfect.
a massive amount of constitution. Like, I'm a big dude. I can probably just put my arms out and look up at Pudding and just be like,
Sure. So what I'll say here then is, Pudding, do you want to make an athletics test so you can have a bonus die?
Heck yeah.
I feel like 80 con. I'm good.
Pudding is pretty light.
Yeah.
I mean, at the
Ooh.
moment,
Sprite
the
person.
moment,
Full of books, though.
I don't know how this
How?
is. How does this keep happening? My athletics is 70. I have good athletics.
That is
So it's not a
wild.
fumble.
Well, it would have
But-
been hilarious if it was, unfortunately. But yeah, no fumble there.
I mean, I'm just happy to fall on my ass.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. You can fall on me. Can I do a con to see how much?
You're not going to take damage from this. It's not a fumble, but you can't. Basically, what happens is it's much more. Pudding, you start to go, you realize it's going to be a heavy fall, you throw out one hand, you start dropping down books, but you have to step back to avoid catching a corner in the face. And it's just a very undignified thing.
Scramble.
PC Lewis, you're crossing over, you get into the mouth of the alley. So basically what we have is we have the three of you now outside in the alleyway, this door which is shut but not locked. To one side, and you can just see through the sort of glass front in towards what immediately kicks off into a fight.
Here.
I'm in uniform. That's the thing. If that changes things, like they're going to see a police officer coming in
Step
the
in
door,
and be like, "We've gotta work."
like he was meant to be here, like he has been here the whole
Yeah,
time.
but they see a little nerd police officer.
We'll see. You might be able to leverage your
Swing on
rank and natural, intimidating nature.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait, no, that's fine. I was
But-
gonna be like, the family's fighting.
But it's going to be, it's just going to be
Are you
one
going to black and white?
moment later. Or red. This is the
Yeah.
moment that the anger kicks in.
Bloodlust.
So, you can arrive at the door in just a second, but before then, the one with the plastic trolley steps forward, and he's got you've got into an angle where they're both pinned into the back corner of the house. So that is to say, if it's a rectangle, the side entryway, you'd come in here, and the staircase is going up. So they're really pinned against the front door, which is locked and heads out onto the street, but they haven't been entering through there. And this one with the plastic trolley thinks that they have a moment to knock you sideways and hopefully send you scattering, and they can, as if there's a bird in the house, like get the door and try and scare you off at this point. But they do make a definitive attack. So out of nowhere, they lean forward
heck.
and they try and smack you with this trolley thing.
I try to kill him.
Absolutely.
And by kill, I mean subdue.
So this is going to be a fighting roll from them. They do appear to be relatively good at it, which means you need to choose how you're going to fight back.
with my teeth.
Okay, perfect. So you are attempting to, I mean, it's a combat maneuver. So you're attempting to fight back using a combat maneuver.
Yes,
Perfect.
correct. So I am wearing my doggy defense vest, right?
Yep, absolutely. Now you also have, do you have natural weapons as another? Yeah, okay.
I have both. I have my teeth are my signature weapon, so I get a bonus dice with attacks to them, and I also have natural toughness. So I have 2 points of armor functionally, which is how we
You
decide.
are-
So they can fucking try it. Basically, bring a gun next time, you nerds. Prepare to die.
You are a really tough customer, and you succeed on the fight back. Coming in, the fighting roll made against you is a 53. Now, I think that these are sort of muscle. I think it's entirely reasonable that they have a score of 60. So as this one swings towards you, a success to a success means that this person
No,
is...
mine's a hard.
Oh, yours is a hard success? Oh my
I
good
have
lord.
80 in fighting. I am going
Never
to kill
mind.
them.
All right, well, so you will be able to basically, completely subdue this person. There'll be a follow-up to it, but what does it look like as they swing this trolley at you?
Oh, Lucy was hoping they would. There's one more bark over the radio, which I think signals everyone like, fuck.
well.
And then she jumps down the stairs, clearing the remainder of the flight and just bowling this dude over onto the ground. And immediately rounds on the other one if they try to run. I will like leap towards him because it'll be my turn or whatever. Right? That was reaction. I'm just gonna get these suckers.
Absolutely. They do appear to be about to round on you, but what is clear as well, in very UK style, these sort of tough folks do not appear to have packed sort of a lethal option. Neither of them pull out knives and immediately get ready to go. The other one does charge you first. So I'm going to have this person's turn is going to resolve before you make yours because you were kind of holding on for a second. So you
Sure.
knock this one back. The other guy rushes. It's going to be another fighting roll. This time, though, you do not have the fast reflexes capacity, which means you will have a penalty die upon this. So just a straight roll.
Success.
Okay, and they come in. I think success as well here. What they're trying to do is that they're trying to injure you, but without a trolley to their own, I'm totally fine at this point. Like they swing out and with a booted foot, kick you in the side. It's a hard strike, but the kind of thing that between your natural toughness and your armor, it's not even going to deal damage. And this is when they'll realize they need to escalate the force if they're going to try and hurt you. So a kick, you spin around, you've got one of them who has fallen backwards after having the trolley ripped out of their hand. The other one's standing, seeing that nothing has happened, having kicked you. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to bite the one that kicked me, intending to do damage.
Okay, fair enough. Please make a fighting check, and they will do exactly the same. A success?
A success.
Ooh, okay. They've rolled damn well here. So as you come forward, they manage to twist their boot and just smack you in the face again. But I mean,
isn't it a success? Don't I win the success tie? They won their success.
Oh, sorry. Did I roll 1d10? Well, what am I talking about? I saw your 6 and I thought that was what I rolled. My mistake.
The 6 is the dog.
Thank you very much.
That's my bonus die.
I am so sorry. That's complete confusion on me. I was going, oh my god, they got a all right. No, you will absolutely win that. So let's see some teeth damage coming through.
I don't really know how damage works.
That's all right. I'm going to double check to make sure I get the rules right. But how it should work
I've
is
got
that
I've got it written here. 1 damage. I think I just do 1 damage.
you should do 1 damage plus your level of success increased that. So because you succeeded, you'll get an extra point on top of that. And then
I think this might be my unarmed. I think I might need I think on the success I just get. I think only on like a hard I would do anything.
Okay. Well, let's be sure.
I think unarmed is like the weakest. Like I don't have a gun or anything.
Would you like? I have the PDF open for the damage roll.
Would you like to? Yes, please.
Roll percentile die and compare it with the attacking character's strength, melee, or dex firearm ranged. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let me go. So, following on from a successful attack, if the goal was to inflict damage, you take a damage roll should be made to determine how much happens. For melee attacks, the damage roll is a strength roll. This includes all unarmed attacks, including kicks and bites. So that would be this one. So you roll a percentage die and compare it with the attacking character's strength.
Yep.
And then dependent on what that is, depends on whether like what the damage
there's
is.
a second roll.
So you make a
Yeah.
strength percentage roll, which basically is your damage roll onto. No, that's perfect. Thank you very much. So
Fail.
fail.
So a failure is 1 damage.
Ah.
No weapon damage is added. A regular success is 1 damage plus base weapon damage. Hard success, just for anyone watching at home,
Oh, I
2 damage
see.
plus base weapon damage. And critical is 3 damage plus base weapon. So if your teeth are 1, if you'd rolled a regular success, that would have been 2 damage. But as you failed, it's just 1.
Okay, cool.
And then I don't know how it works. Oh, there we go. A character suffering a total of 1 damage is hurt. A character suffering a total of 2 damage is bloodied, and a character suffering a total of 3 or more damage is down. So if you manage to roll a critical success, you almost always manage to down someone in a single turn, because that will almost always be 3 damage plus your weapon damage. If a character suffering 4 damage in a single blow has taken a mortal wound.
I think we're fine from a mortal wound
I
perspective.
deal 1 damage.
It will clamp all around this guy's ankle. He starts to yell, like flailing about, and it's perfect revenge for being kicked. At this point, we'll go around the rest of the crew in sort of left to right kind of thing, as according to our lovely videos here. So Pudding, I assume you get back up and grab everything. That's what you were saying your rough intention was?
Yeah, like just I get up in the sense that I am no longer I have the ability to be on my feet, but I'm absolutely like moving around like a little goblin, gremlin, like gargoyle thing, just grabbing books and shoving them into my like rucksack so that they're more contained than just in my arms and stuff, and just kind of collecting stuff again. At which obviously like that's it.
By the end of the turn, perfect. Then you are standing up with your rucksack full of all of those books, ready to move again, like as you would see fit. You're no longer.
Jim, did you just give me a sock full of coins?
I guess I did give you a sock full of coins. Oh dear. Hey, those are old and valuable coins. Plus, there's a bunch of your
Lucky for
thermoses
you,
in there.
my strength is 30, so not great at swinging things. But my con is 50, so I'm fine to carry it.
Unfortunately, you left all the sharp cheese upstairs, so it's not going to do any bladed damage. PC Lewis, you can hear the sound of dog ripping from inside. You're in the alleyway now, so you can, if you would like, at this point, burst in.
Absolutely. We mentioned that Lucy's got a vest. Is that got like police written on it, or is it just a?
You disguised yourself, I believe.
Oh yeah, you're right. I am in disguise. I'm incognito mode.
You're in street dog mode.
Yeah. So currently,
I'm loose in the house.
the only people who they've laid eye on are.
I did
Pudding.
read them their Miranda rights. They might interpret.
dog.
They
that
don't
and-
speak dog.
Yeah. Culture.
Exactly
fine.
right. The cat.
In that
people.
case, I will
Monolinguals.
burst upon the scene and identify myself as police and indicate that they should stop whatever it is they're doing.
Okay, so you get up to the door and you go to burst in and start yelling. But you can see PC Lewis about to burst through. We've established that you're a pretty tough kind of looking person. Do you want to
Just
try
Lodge.
and add your you help this in any way, or do you have an additional plan?
I think if PC Lewis is like sprinting into the door, I will probably kind of just roll in behind and
Want them to
just,
see the uniform first.
yeah, try and be unobtrusive. Like I want to be there, but if they're gonna be distracted by dog and copper, I wouldn't mind kind of just like sidling around the other way behind them, keeping near the door to, I would like to be flanking them. Not really notice, so if there needs to be an unexpected large barrier between them and a door,
Makes
that will be me.
perfect sense. I love it. So, PC Lewis, you come in and attempt to execute your most frightening arrest. Can you give us a rendition of the...
Police, stop what you're doing. That's all that came out. That's all I got.
Who comes through
Police,
That's
stop
enough
what
of
you're
that.
doing.
and... Stop what you're doing as you walk in.
I drag them across the ground.
Well, that really does help. I think a social role here. They are not law-abiding citizens. I'll give you a mild spoiler of that. So you're not
I
going to
got
get a
that
bonus die
sense.
for being a police officer.
That is fine.
But you will get a bonus die for Barton's assistance here.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
might need
Barton
it. My
rocks in
social-
around. I'm totally happy for that too.
My social is, of course, 30. So
Not fantastic.
I'm
Light
hoping the
in the doorway.
Fantastic. Don't even need the bonus die for a hard success.
I
Yeah,
love
that-
the idea of just this little tiny police officer, as Dave said, police officer nerd coming and being like, "Stop!" And then being like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do?" And then just Barton shadow just moving behind him and being like, "Oh."
And Lewis
And-
fully
and, like-
thinking, well, I mean, Lewis did succeed. It is on
So-
him, but it's
So
very
Lewis just being
funny.
like, "Yeah, they're scared of me." It's like,
Not knowing
Strength,
the
strength
enormous
60,
mountain behind me.
Yeah, strength 60, constitution 80 behind you.
You've gotten a hard success. I was going to
I
say
have.
on a fail, neither of them would listen here, and they both try and keep going. On a success, the poor one currently getting their leg chewed off was pretty happy to just say, "Yeah, just get the dog off," and kind of settle things from there. The other one might have been heroic, might have run upstairs, and climbing through windows seemed to work before. That might have done something. With a hard success, I think that Barton, as you slide in, you manage to move and just place one meaty arm across the passage towards the stairs, like a real try it mate kind of thing. And this person rises up just a little bit, then lowers himself back down. And the only sound is, "Okay, just get the dog off! Get the dog off! Jesus!"
Lucy, I think we're good.
Lucy! I have more cheese.
Lucy lets go of the leg
Yeah.
and then like steps
Onto
forward
his chest, yeah.
onto his chest and like looks straight down into his face and will stay inches away for the remainder of the conversation. So this dude just gets wafts of cheese smell and can see the microphone into his thing, and also the cop dog badge that's like hanging just underneath the disguise.
You have a badge?
This is all legitimate, you son of a gun.
Oh my god, it's
I just like
Incredible.
the
Signed
gentle,
up. They wouldn't
just,
give me a
just the
gun, though.
gentle rumble.
Arr.
Yeah.
And again, the daring of like, please try, please run. You don't need to answer these questions. You're quick. You'd be really fast. You'd probably get away.
So Harry managed to kind of mutter out.
Please tell me the other guy's name's Bert.
It was Dean, but I'm happy to go with Bert if you'd rather.
What is that a reference to?
I'm not catching it either. What's
No,
the
arts. Is it
yeah.
a reference?
No,
Or
it's just
is
like
happy? Okay.
as someone whose family is English and has like 18 Berts, like Alberts, or actually it probably would be Alf because it'd be like Alfred, Albert. Like there's so many like Alf names. Or yeah.
Alf?
I
You know that the
Bert to
author
his
of the
friends, Dean
scenario,
to his enemies.
you know the author of the scenario is watching or is going to be watching.
Yeah,
It's
very.
just so disrespectful to take
Change
away
the
the
name.
I'm happy
NPC's
for the name to
names.
be Dean. I was just like, is it Bert? Because that's a real like geezer name in my
I
head.
think if the author of the scenario steps in and said they try to run, they should try to run, and I get to fight them. That is my only comment.
I think the author of the scenario saw this. They go, "Oh, interesting addition."
Again, from a family of people who grew up on the East End and therefore would be considered geezers, those are the names that just stick in my head as like things what might be.
Well, we got to respect it. So let's go with Alf. Harry mutters Alf's name quickly, and Alf kind of just says, "I'm okay. My leg's fine, I think." As the other one says, "We haven't done anything. We've got keys, mate. We're invited here, right? Asked to do something."
Good. That's fine. We'll start with your names.
Sure. They repeat their names as
Full names
Yeah,
and
they-
addresses.
I turn the microphone to catch the other one. All of this is being recorded.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need a GoPro.
Alf manages to use the moment of you turning away to wipe some spittle off his face, but you'll promptly get it back on. They give you their full names. Who's participating in the interview at this point, apart from PC Lewis and Lucy? Really, Elaine and Barton. The two of you want to split off, or like you could the house is no. All right.
I think like
We could finish. Do we do a full investigation where they're like,
I
are there
might
stones
look
unturned,
around.
James?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you-
gonna look around and take some photos.
Barton, that's
yeah,
it's
that's
kind of your specialty.
Also, check the big rig. Check the thing that they
Mhm.
said, right? Is that here? They said they didn't need to get it.
No,
No, I think
because
that might be the printing press, which was there was a space for
a
it upstairs,
space
but
where
there
one
wasn't
would have been, but you know,
I
like
assume it's going to be at the event tonight.
yeah, it's on some of the promotional material, so you would hazard a guess. Barton, I'll get you to make a observation roll, then Pudding will come back to you in
Yar.
just a second if that's all right.
Observation. Yeah.
Oh, extremely good. Okay, so you start going
Extremely
through,
observant.
slowly cataloging everything, stopping occasionally to get like a really artsy shot of drool splattering onto Alf's face.
Yeah, and do you know what? The lighting in here is really nice. Like these kind of Volterras, like the filtered lights through the windows. Mwah, beautiful.
It's just great. It's not quite golden hour, it's around noon, but you know, close enough.
That's why we have the filtered lighting.
Exactly.
Full inventory.
Going through it, you start to isolate everything and get a full sense of what's around in the room. We know PC Lewis, Pudding as well, social expert, and Lucy continuing on. Alf doesn't do much talking. Whenever he opens his mouth, he gets dog drool in it. But Harry's pretty happy to speak. Says, we're just here to pick things up and move them. That's all. All right. We haven't committed a crime. The dog attacked us. Okay.
Understood. Yes, yeah. Well, Lucy
attacked
is
the
a certified police dog, so you know she was here to make sure that nothing untoward was going on. Who was it that hired you?
Not Marsh. Coach Robert Coach did. It's his place. We're just Harry, give him the card. Holds into his jacket, pulls out a card, and kind of thrusts it towards you, as if this is sort of like the most offensive thing.
Swing around on the thrust.
Hands it out. It's like I think given your profession, it's reasonable you might know this. This is a firm that low-level criminals will use as like a law firm quite often. He's handed you his lawyer's card.
Yeah.
At this point,
Wait.
it's Harry has.
Oh, his lawyer's card, not Harry's. Wait, so you're saying the coach hired them?
The thug that you're talking to has done is doing a bit of like. I've been told as a criminal that when the police speak to me, I hand over this card and I say nothing. So he's handing over a lawyer's card.
Sure, but they're not under arrest, so it's like, okay, well, no.
They're doing their best here.
No.
We're wizard cops.
They're remembering some details of what you're meant to do, and not others.
Good for them.
So
If they'd like to be arrested, we can probably help them out with that. But like at this stage,
so Harry's clammed up, but Alf is doing a little.
They haven't
more
necessarily
talking?
clammed up. I'm just flagging that it's not a friendly interview. So
That's fine.
tailor your
I
questions.
I
Be
feel
ready
like
to have to make a roll.
pointing out to them at this stage, like seeing a lawyer's card, to be like, you're not under arrest. We just want to.
Not answering police questions is also perfectly responsive.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm
like-
not doing this. Arrest me or let us go is fine too.
Yeah,
like,
but-
I can see
no,
where they're
that's
coming
right.
Whether
from.
you can convince them to
Yeah.
speak out, because but yeah,
not being under arrest is probably working against us actually.
Oh yeah, you're on the scene, Pudding, or you?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Pudding's standing
I fully
right there.
stuck my head. Like I at some point again just comedically kind of stuck my head through the door frame. Was like, oh, something's happening, and then just like toddled inside with a bag full of books.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, yes,
I'm with you.
quite right. You're not under arrest. We are doing an investigation into the office itself, and you've just been caught up in that. But if you are able to assist with our inquiries, you should be able to leave much quicker and without much hassle.
Okay. And Harry seems a bit hesitant. He is the one who has sort of just handed over the lawyer's thing. But Alf says, "Well, look, we'll tell you everything if you just let me up."
Lucy.
Step back.
Gets up,
I'll let him get up.
wipes down his face, pulls out a kerchief. Got to be prepared for these things, and manages to clean himself a little bit. Right. They look at each other a little bit, and eventually Harry says, "Look, Coach told us that come to this address, move stuff through. Told us where we could get a key from the letting agent.
What were you moving?
we were told to get all of the books in particular from upstairs, but in general, anything identifiable. I think he was clearing out pretty totally. I think a read person is probably the most appropriate thing to ask for here. It's
Not great.
Also not great. I talk to people. I don't read them. Although, Lucy, do you have a
But I
decent
will
read?
Well,
on
I
this
have
occasion.
I have some points in it, so I'm
Huzzah.
trained.
well.
Rolled a 0-5, which is
Oh,
quite out
All
of
you
character.
need.
Nice.
Sometimes it's just enough, and it's probably the fact that they're giving each other real shifty eyes and worried about being bitten again if they say something wrong.
I also think you're kind of on a roll. Like you're kind of doing like things have gone relatively smoothly so
Yeah.
far. It's
Surprisingly
we're
so.
kind of doing this.
They're very clearly so they're telling you the truth. You're pretty sure that Robert Coach did hire them and told them to get a bunch of stuff. You see
A bunch
that
of
they
stuff, like they're clearing out. Like they're planning, he's planning to vacate the entire office, so he just said, grab everything.
with a hard success with read person, what you start to sort of piece together a little bit more is you go, okay, they had to get a key from the letting agent and stuff like that. This is a little bit odd. There's probably some additional illegality going on here. As your eyes sort of flick around the room, not just reading these two necessarily, but reading the psychology of like this is Robert's workplace. You wonder if it's been foreclosed upon, or it's like he's no longer officially the tenant here anymore because it's in a state of abandonment, which means that coming here and moving out stuff might be breaking and entering. That's possibly what they're dancing around a bit, but yeah, it does appear that they are legitimately here. They may not be legitimately here, but it is true that they are here to gather up a bunch of stuff and move it. As to where, as to whether it's to the tip. Yeah.
Well, that would be my very next question, James. To where?
They kind of start mentioning a storage unit a little bit, with your sort of like gaze piercing down on them a little bit. Just said get it out of there for now. He was going to tell us what to do with it later. I figured he might want it just dumped somewhere.
Right. But so do you have a storage unit address, or
No, I mean
you were
like,
just going to hold on to it until it was all out, and then he
dumped
would
into like
be contacting you?
dumped into like a river or something. That's what I figured. You know,
Well.
people want an area cleaned out. They want it cleaned out fast. They don't really... Doesn't look like he cares too much about the place, right?
I see. It would assist us with our inquiries a great deal if you were able to make contact. If he does make contact again, if you could inform us what his intentions were with these items, that would make our investigation go much smoother, and it would be looked upon most favorably for yourselves.
They glance at each other. Here's where I'll ask for a social chest. If you can jump in here, because currently I think it's probably going to be a hard test. They don't really have much reason to want to help here, as much as just get the hell out.
Well, I think especially if
leaning towards bad cop, so I may need a good cop to help me out.
I was like, especially if you've accidentally maybe possibly gotten yourselves caught up in someone's dirty business, in the sense that maybe he weren't meant to be here and he hired you and didn't tell you that he weren't meant to be here, and then you weren't meant to be here, and I think that would be very reasonable if you were to help us, if we could make sure that we let any of the relevant parties know that you were unaware that whether or not you were unaware of the circumstances around this building and its state of affairs, if you understand my meaning.
All right, perfect.
Essentially leaning on the there's a chance that there's additional illegality and we've caught that, and we're like, hey, we'll just not mention it.
That is perfect. Yes, make a social roll. I think that I'm happy for either of you to do this, but I'll just take one. So you've counted the
given that I have
would
the
be
ability
happy.
to sell ashes to the devil, and I'm definitely trying to convince these lads to get on board.
And considering that PC Lewis might buy ashes from the devil, it's you're a wizard. It's a wizard thing.
PC Lewis may in fact be the devil. True.
Or
all right.
PC Lewis.
I didn't sign up for this slander.
You explicitly did, though.
How are we looking?
Okay.
Very
So
nice.
30. I'm assuming that I got
Solid.
the bonus die for that.
Sorry, your bonus die is going to be negating the penalty die that would otherwise apply, is the idea here. So the inherent... Actually, sorry.
Or would it just be a hard success required?
Actually, yeah, that does make more sense. I'll go with that. So you've got so hard success required. You can use your bonus die. So through.
Cool. So that will be a hard with 4 points of luck.
Okay.
So, 'cause
Nice.
I got a 39 and my social is 70.
Starting to slowly drain those luck reserves.
Oh yeah,
Slowly.
from 80 to 76.
I'm a 20th of the way there.
He's working.
Oh, don't worry. When I start to, if I need to do big magic, that's like 20 points a hit.
Magic.
Like,
There we
Yeah.
go.
if I want to do small magic, it's 5 points a
It
hit. If
also
it's
burns
big magic,
enemies.
which I think I've done once
Yeah. down
on
in-
stream, I did the big that was draining.
Yeah.
I can kind of only do a couple of those a day if I want to also actually be able to function.
That
but yes.
makes sense.
76, and you may have 4 points of luck to make that a hard success.
Okay, perfect. So with a hard success, they kind of glance towards each other, and then Harry flicks his eyes back and says, "Oh, this building was foreclosed upon? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I had no idea. Well, that coach seems like a horrible sort. Hope you catch it."
So I mean, some people just get accidentally caught up in the wrong line of business or at the wrong point at the wrong time, and that's totally understandable. What you were here just doing something you were hired to do, and look, these things happen, and we can absolutely ensure that's the story that's told.
Great. They're very happy to give you everything then. So
I think I'd turn off the mic.
You can do that? With
I was
what
just a funny,
thumbs?
I think it's just a funny bit. I think I just ate it.
So kind of zoom a little bit out of the scene. Then you bit this guy's leg, but you didn't inflict catastrophic damage. And within the scope of the scene, there's somebody to heal up. So it's kind of like sits down and gets treated. You maintain the interview. Barton continues to go through stuff, and you extract a bit of information. What they give you, first of all, is they give you a phone number, a mobile phone number that they have been using to contact Coach, although it is eclectic and not often answered, and it's this is the latest in a series of disposable phone numbers, so there's very much the possibility that it might stop working at some point. Also covers a couple of other things. First of all,
if he's a practitioner, then he probably rips through mobile device like that. That just suggests that this is
possible.
either a burner phone or it's a burner in the sense that he burns them with magic on the regular.
I think it's pretty easy these days to just change your phone number across to a new phone new SIM card if you need to. So if there's different numbers, that's more likely
can
to be a
take-
bit sus.
As someone who used to work in phone retail stuff, it can take a little while for the number to get ported, depending on whether or not you're changing providers as well.
They'd be using burners with brand new numbers, and
that's sort of the thing. And you also know that Coach is a little bit older, and probably of that sort of burner phone generation, if you know what I mean.
he's not using eSIMs. He's not hecking about with eSIMs.
Exactly.
He's using the Nokia 3310 in bulk
Yeah, but managed to find a bunch of them for such a great deal from some slimy
from some
salesman.
truck.
Exactly. Speaking of trucks, though, so they were hired not just to do the moving, but to also rent out vans. And they say that despite all of the very kind of tension and caginess around getting in contact with Coach seems remarkably flippant about how they are going to incriminate themselves in any further crimes. They are very happy to sign all of their details away and explain who they are, and they have rented 2 trucks. One of them is the one that is outside, parked there. The other one, so the 2 goons got one each. They delivered one to Coach, and they are pretty sure that Coach took some stuff from the house, i.e. a big kind of rig thing. They can't really identify it, but you will be able to very quickly match that it is probably the printing press from upstairs and some of the materials, and has vanished into seemingly thin air. They have a text from him implying that he is going to be in central London if they need to get in contact with him. But beyond that, they have no idea of his actual location right now. They do have the details of the van, though, which they will give to you.
I also, at some point, will, like, disseminate the information that, like, I think I know where he's going to be.
Yeah, so...
Because of the... but, like, maybe not in front of these two. Just at some point that will be disseminated to everyone so that instead of us being like, where will he be? He's going to be here. Yeah. This is where he's going to be later tonight.
Probably this spot.
It's true.
So in which case, as you start to want to be able to get that information through, these two start to want to leave and get out of this whole thing as quickly as they can. Do you want to try and hang on to them anymore, or are you pretty happy to...
I kind of think let's keep them here for the time it would take them to start packing up and then see if Coach calls them. That's my thought, because he's going to tell them eventually what to do with the stuff.
Although it's possible if his thing was just shove it all in a truck and I'll call, like, he might not call them until after the thing tonight.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth...
When does that start is my main one. Just I want to make sure we have enough time to get to the event.
For sure.
So apart from that, I don't think we have anything else to do, so we could hang out until then.
So given that, what I'll say is that you situate them either at the back of the sort of place. They are sort of removed from the conversation for the time being, though, and you can have a chat amongst yourselves about any more magically obvious
We'll
plans.
explain why we're asking them to hang around. We'll be like, hey, we'd like to see if he calls you after the point of time that it would be reasonable for you to have packed this place up. If you need a coffee or anything, we'll go grab you one. But if you just don't mind, like, it's not I want to be like careful that we're not detaining them. We're just asking them.
You're
explaining
three
why we want them.
successes into the to the fight, then the intimidation, then the charm, then the read person. Once
we're very clear that, like, look, it sounds like he's not going to call. By all means, go. But if he does contact you, please let us know.
For the time being, they're hanging out.
His number? Did we get his number?
Yeah, they provide you with that phone number.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
But it's better if he calls them rather than us trying to call him.
For sure.
Putting a one now with a bunch of books, we'll probably just like leave the books near Barton and then wander off to go get, frankly, everyone coffees. And it takes like the amount of time it takes to bring them back. The coffee should be like tepid. They're not. They're toasty.
While you're gone, I ate everything that came out of that backpack. I just go to town.
Also at some point,
I walk up really efficient, like I'm gonna go investigate something, and then over the microphone, which I ate, you can just hear.
At some point I would also like to just like completely break the how serious we all are in front of these guys by going up to Lucy and being like, were you a good guard dog? Yes, you were a good police dog.
They're a little bit like,
and just like give
every time because they think that Lucy's about to bite, but
or just like whenever, like as we're all sort of like calming down and Lucy's sort of hackles are a little lower, like I'll just go and give her a treat and kind of for them to be like, oh, this dog is just a dog. It's also just a terrifying dog, but it is just like a good.
It also hates you two specifically.
Yeah,
you know, like it's fine with everyone else. It just hates you.
Yeah,
it's a dog with a grudge.
But you got to make sure that you give the good girls and boys their Treatos when they do the right thing. So Lucy's got to get a Treato for being the best dog.
Exactly.
In which case, within a few moments, you'll be able to collate again. And here's all of the information that you get in combination from reviewing the books, the documents, the offset. Offset 2016 is starting this evening after the Tate closes. It's a special exhibition, which means that it begins after the normal closing hours of the museum. The museum typically closes at 8 p.m. and typically as this, there would be an exception. And today is no exception.
Is this the same museum where the mummy is?
No, that was the British Museum.
Oh, okay.
The Tate is bizarrely, Dave. You and I have been to the Tate together very randomly. It's the Modern Art
Tate
Museum.
Modern,
Tate
I think
Modern.
I've been. Yeah. So I just couldn't remember which one we were going to.
Oh, very true. Yeah.
Maybe
So
Mummy likes modern art.
it's
Let's
quite
not
possible.
assume.
And who's modern? The ancient Egyptians lasted for a very long time. There's modern ancient Egyptian stuff. So the specifically, there is a large central hall inside the Tate. I will clarify it in a second, but just for our players, who's been to the Tate Modern Museum?
I probably have. I don't, but like the last time I went to the UK, I was like a decade ago, so
There,
I don't remember it off the top of my head. But I'm sure that if you were like, "That's the Tate," I'd be like, "Oh yeah." It's like every time someone goes to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I'm like, "I remember that one. It's got a lot of weird clothes in it. My mom likes it."
yeah, one of those ones.
Yeah. Whereabouts in London is it? The Central, yeah?
Yeah, on the south side of the river, not too far from the Globe. So
Been to the Globe.
there you go.
I
It's
know
close
that
enough.
much.
So you're
Yeah.
saying if we wrap up this interview, we could do a quick
stop
look
in
into the
for. Well, it
globe
starts
on
at
the way
8. You could
over.
probably sneak in and
Give us
visit.
just
I mean,
grab a
I'm
full
sure they've
tour
got a
of London.
matinee. We could go and see what Shakespearean play they're doing this time. Go check out the Royal Shakespeare Society and be like, yeah, let's
Jamie will
go.
prepare and act out all of it. Next episode, tune in.
I choose.
Hey,
I
as
choose
someone
one
who's
of the
got
worst
a-
players.
and does monologues.
It would not be the first time I memorized a Shakespearean monologue for this stream.
Very true.
We've happened twice.
So anyway, the gallery rooms and everything will be shut, but there is basically a large concrete kind of grey hall that runs through the sort of center of the Tate, and this is the exhibition space that is going to be where it's going to be held. So they'll be filling out all of this stuff. You are pretty sure that they will have already started doing this. This is a pretty big deal. It's one of the temporary exhibitions that they'll be holding, and it will go for a couple of days consecutively. You see, amongst all of the programming material, advertisements for all kinds of different things. There's these mini programs and stuff like that, as well as a lot of advertisement of the official program that will be coming out, and prestigious curatorship to be able to put all that together. You will see amongst those a couple of different large scale printing presses. You'll have to make a research check or something like that to go through in detail and see if you can isolate everything that you can link to Robert himself. But Pudding first.
I'm assuming this is an invitation only event.
It's open. It's a you gotta get a ticket, but it is an actual event that is being run.
So we took a pause from playing, and I feel like there's something that has fallen off the collective plate that might really help us here, because we happen to have an in with museum curators in general.
You do. Very
with
good
the
call.
lovely Catherine, who I feel like we've been remiss in mentioning for a
We can
number
just-
of episodes now.
You can just buy a ticket.
PC Lewis.
I feel like
It's sold
everything-
out. The opening
Damned
night is
if
sold
I buy a
out now.
ticket.
And we also don't know what's going to happen there. So, it really would be, the honourable thing to do to talk to Catherine about all of this.
Yep.
She
To
might
bring
know something.
civilians
She may also
into an
she may-
ongoing investigation. I don't know
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
that.
imagine doing that, eh? Imagine bringing imagine bringing civilians into
Well,
investigations.
you're fully
Wild.
consultants. That's quite different.
I mean, I feel
Catherine
at
may
this
have
point,
encountered
Catherine
him
is
and
also
might have
a
information.
yeah. I mean, there's why not? She understands museums and curatorships and probably has contacts in the Tate. I imagine we could find out a lot more information via her. And she's no more or less capable of being a folly liaison
Also,
as
legitimately,
the rest of us.
if last time this was held, there was a mass summoning event or something, that would be interesting.
Well,
From,
look, Steph.
you did find some information on the previous offset that was run a couple of years ago. No negative press. You found it when you were looking through. Very funny. No, it seemed to be a delightful event, to the point that they are holding this one as a renewing. Very quickly, because I couldn't find the name in my notes, the Turbine Hall is the name of the specific location within the Tate, for those who are interested.
Cool.
Is it because it has a giant turbine in it?
Better.
Now that is beyond my
They're gonna
deep Tate law knowledge, but
So
it
they're
is
not going to turn it on during the scenario.
um,
It's sucked up into it and into space.
You also do just note quickly if you did want to get, this will be via Kate possibly, that you have Angelique Ozan is the woman who is running and putting together Offset, which I think it's most likely I'll get both Pudding and Lewis at this point probably to make. I'll get Pudding. I'll get you to make probably a magic roll. Genuinely, I'll get and then PC Lewis. I'll do the same. I'll ask you both to make.
Have magic.
You don't have magic.
What's this for?
I think.
I
Yeah,
do.
sorry. You're right.
the-
Just what will I ask you to get instead then? With what
Power?
would you reckon? Power, maybe. I think
Or
What are you
try
asking
to
me to? What
open
specific?
magic.
Can you?
Connection.
I know this is.
connection to
Connection.
the Demimonde.
Cult.
Or just
I mean, I have
intelligence.
a
Isn't this
cult,
just, like,
but I don't know.
knowledge you would have. It's
Intelligence. Yeah, and you're probably
like
right.
what
I
you
think
know
intelligence
about
makes the most
connections.
sense, actually.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to also do a cult, but that feels like something that I've been learned. Like a cult seems separate
Oh,
to
no.
the Demimon because that's
A cult's good. Let's go with a cult.
Okay.
I was going to do magic for you, PC Lewis, because I think that it represents sort of your training as a Newtonian practitioner. It's the kind of thing that would come up during your training. So I'll just ask you to make a.
I have made a regular success.
Okay, fantastic.
If that had been an intelligence, I would have succeeded. But if it's a cult, I do not. So whether you want to go with what information I might get for intelligence versus a cult, but
I think it's fine. So fail and one regular success on PC Lewis, right? In which case, neither of you have the insight to tell whether this is worth noting in particular, but just in the back of your head, PC Lewis, because you made an effort rather to Wikipedia the name of every river. The Ozan is a river, and it just sort of it's a French river, and it just you go okay for a split second.
She's a
What was the
ghost.
Ozan? I missed that.
Angelique Ozan is the person who is putting together Offset,
Oh.
the organizer of the event.
Oh.
And does this river link to the Thames?
No, it is a French river. It is connected to the Loire.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So no connection to the Thames.
I feel like that is absolutely a thing that I am fine to not know because I barely know about London Demimond at the moment.
Fair enough.
Still getting my feet wet, as it were.
Very apt saying. Meanwhile, the books and the effects and all of that stuff. Going through it, you're going to find a good bit of basically generic occult information confirming your suspicions that a coach does appear to be a practitioner. There's plenty of materials that you would activate Nightingale's various procedures of like lock this person down. They may be dangerous. They need to either come to heel and basically work with the folly so they're not a danger to themselves and others, or you have to figure out some kind of way to resolve all of this. Pretty serious hedge wizard kind of stuff, particularly in the hands of somebody who you know is a criminal. More specifically, you also get a couple of hints towards the sort of research angle that this whatever strange magic coach is using or leveraging here seems to be connected to two specific English typesetters who got caught up in the disasters of the English like civil unrest over a century ago. There's Tom Hargreen and Edward Haswell. And you sort of see references here about them building basically printing presses and things like that. And it appears that there's some magical links there. Otherwise, you're getting a lot of information about like sort of roundabout ways to get to a malignancy or some kind of other, strong being, strong power inhabiting something. But it's all a bit scattered.
I feel like maybe, given that we have an awfully strong scent,
yes,
might have worked out how to do that.
So this is the like the correspondence between these jokers, Coach and Hargreen and Hassel that we're finding.
No, Hargreen and Haswell are long dead. They died centuries
gotcha.
ago. I'll get you an exact date for it, but
This is like him finding
I see.
references and information from what they were doing in the books that I pulled off the shelves and yeeted
Gotcha.
myself out a window unnecessarily for.
And they thought they could use printing presses to.
So as far as you can tell, Hargreen and Haswell are actual just like printers. Like they were round about the time when that was just more the done thing and the technology of the jour. They were involved in mass producing a bunch of material. They got caught up in civil unrest in England. I'm just confirming that it is indeed the Jacobean era. But they one of them got beheaded, and the other one seems to like vanish pretty quickly. And then Coach seems to have retroactively found some links to magic and like practice, and his notes kind of dive in that direction. You haven't got the full scope of it yet because you haven't dived into the actual texts, and that's basically what you have to decide for the next step. Offset opens this evening. You have a variety of links, whether it is diving into the Demimonde and looking into Azan, trying to track down these vans and specifically get in contact with Coach, either via Harry and Alf or via the contacts that you made in the Mudlarking community. You could also try and just go straight to Offset, try and like look around there. You could try and dive more into the magic so that once you figure out what is going on and presumably run into something very, very dangerous that can punch holes in people, if the autopsy was accurate, you actually know what to do and how to stop it.
Yes, please.
It's probably getting into the afternoon now, so you've got a while ahead of you, but really it's only one big beat each. What's the plan? How are you going to solve it?
If we're splitting up, okay, good.
Yeah, I was going to say if we're dividing and conquering, I'm happy to go irritate my mums and be like, "Hey, Demimon stuff. Unfortunately, kind of maybe need to know about it a little more quickly than you maybe wanted. So can we chat? So I can go and have a look at like,
What do you want to know about?
The kind of like the fact that you picked up on the curator being the name of a river and just being like, oh, is this, I mean, I feel like Jim's kind of giving us a hook of like, this is probably or possibly connected. I think for me and possibly for you, it's like, oh, that's odd. Maybe we should just go double check that, which is what I'm happy to go do to be like, is this person one of the Demimonde? Are they a genus loci or connected to one from like France? Could that be why we're getting why the vibes are off? Or is it something else? Like, just gonna see if I can dig into that side of things because I have a direct connection through my mum.
Or you could go and speak to one of the rivers themselves.
Oh yeah, I could go do that.
They would know if another.
You know what?
That sounds like river has come to London.
That sounds like a worse idea. So yes, probably then in that case, Jim, what I will do is I will call my mom and be like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to one of the rivers. What should I do?
No.
And just get like a quick, don't do this kind of, so that I'm not completely left out to dry. Again, the word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more just like, hey, mom, I think I need to go talk to one of the rivers. What do I do? And just get like here are the rules.
Yeah.
For interaction, and then I'll go and speak to one of the rivers, which is probably the one I've been like giving offerings to as we cross over the bridge. If that makes the most sense. Whoever.
Well,
that was Mama Thames herself. Every time you crossed the River Thames, I think you were doing it. But the River Fleet is where the Mudlarks were, and where we picked up on that gross.
I thought Fleet was the one we were crossing over.
You were crossing over the Thames, so Blackfriars Bridge goes across the Thames. The Fleet is an underground river.
I think I would probably just go to that bridge, make an offering, and ask to speak to someone, and essentially leave it up to the people with a lot of goddamn power to decide who has the time to speak to me. So, I'm not going to demand anything of anyone. I'm just be like, I'd like to speak to someone, please. Excuse me.
That makes sense. The only other question that was worth bringing up is whether you want to consider talking to the Father Thames in the other direction instead. But that's a choice that you'll be able to make. First of all, we have an approximate direction for you.
Talk to some magic beans.
Yep, talk to magic beans. What about the rest? Barton, you've got photographs developed of all of this. PC Lewis, you've got a
Yep.
couple of angles. Lucy, cheese, basically. I mean, genuinely, you could be
Easy.
kind of the person who searches around the Tate. Like, that's possibly an
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah, I could go there. My other thought was I could re-up our vibe check. Just kind of, I'll just do like if we've got a bit of time, I will go re-hit up like the Munchie Man and the park I was in, and then I will meet everyone at the Tate at opening and know if the vibes are still off. I don't think it's that useful, but it's something I can do just to help. Or the other one is maybe I could prepare like a bug out bag. Like I could try and get us like some equipment and hide it nearby. Like
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll try and get it into the vents.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
if you wanted to have
stake
like
out the event space.
I will do it. Can I please get a GoPro? Alex, can you hook me up? Does Barton have? And then you guys
Yeah.
can just like when you guys you just see we're in, you just tap in and you can just see me walking around
Yeah.
town.
Yeah, let's go
Um,
for the dog.
if we wanted
yeah.
to get Lucy into the Tate with it, like without just being a stray dog, this is genuinely where getting in touch with
Service animal.
Catherine and being
I
like,
think Jackson
hey,
have to get in touch with Catherine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
like getting in touch with Catherine and be like, hey, we kind of need some help with we need to let our dog do a thing. Would you mind going with the dog just so it's not a stray dog in a museum type thing? And also you potentially have a reason to be there if you're like,
If
yeah.
you know someone.
if you know someone, you'd be like, oh, I just wanted to check out the exhibition, all that kind of stuff. So just as a
All
thought.
right. I can do that.
Mhm.
If you can go talk to Fleet. Yes, I suppose that would be something.
So we have getting actually into the location, starting to have a look around there.
I'm gonna try to get Lucy into
I'll
a
go
place
with
where she can have a good poke around
Mm-hmm.
before the event starts.
I'm gonna go
I'm
looking through
going
those
to try
photos.
and
I just
take
really I
off
want to see
this
if there's
GoPro.
anything sus.
Yeah, that GoPro is on a lifespan now.
Cool.
And you literally so going through the photos and trying to dive in more. Now, I think that with a
Yeah.
hard success in the observation, you've found everything that's here. You've got it recorded. From here, it is going deeper. It would be a research role, is really what I'm thinking,
Yep.
and it would be
Yep.
you've started to see the edges of like this material, pointing towards the Jacobean printing press sort of time.
I can leave all of the books with you as well if you want to start cross-referencing
reference,
like
yeah.
the stuff we found.
Yeah. Whoop. I'm going to. Oh no, I don't need to look that. That's a success. Yay!
That's a success.
54
okay,
under
fantastic.
60. Yeah.
Pudding will come back to you now, actually. So just quickly, as I plan things out.
Oh goodness.
Mama Thames holds dominion over the London end of the Thames, and therefore is probably the person that you would speak to. Now, you do know that part of the tension in the area appears to be that there have been incursions from Father Thames, or the extended network of. Does that change anything of what you want to do? I think it makes sense to try and reach out to Mama Thames's family directly. This is also the group that the Folly has most direct attachment with. And
I mean,
that you would
I
be,
think a little bit of it would possibly be when I call Mum and be like, hey, I need to do a thing. What are the rules? And also, this is what we're trying to deal with. I mean, I know genuinely, I'm not going to get a call one way or the other, but if my mum had a suggestion of which of the two I should speak to, then I would lean more towards that. By default, I would lean towards Mama Thames over Old Man River, just because, like, I would probably still seek out Mama Thames' permission to speak with Old Man River I understand there are tensions. I live under your, where I live and work is your domain. I do not want to cause any issues. So do I have your, blessing, not blessing, but, do I have your permission to, cross that line as someone who is part of this world? But I think I would go and speak to Mama Thames first regardless. Unless
I would have suggested one of her daughters because it's a
sorry.
big
When I
event.
say
you wanna
Mama
talk to Mama Thames
Thames,
herself.
I mean I'm
court
going
of,
to
yeah.
her side of the family
Gotcha.
and saying I
yeah,
would
of
like to
course.
speak to someone, and you can send me like a trickle. I don't need to speak to one of the actual like daughters. It's whoever is like whoever she deigns to send to speak to someone like not even remotely connected to them.
A trickle is such a gross thing to be of a person. I fully hate that.
The best way to get in contact, as I tell you, is to just leave an offering at a river itself.
I mean,
You could go straight to the fleet.
And you can absolutely. This is also.
I don't
something
necessarily
that
want to
you're-
speak to the fleet. I just want to go to the bridge that I've been putting offerings on. I want to like put an offering in and go. I actually. This isn't just me giving an offering because I'm passing through territory, which is usually why I do it. This is sorry. Can I chat to someone, please?
Yeah.
Like I'd actually like attention rather than just.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, this is a more significant one. Understood. So just clarifying that plan then. Okay. We'll get a couple of more rolls to clear up things before we close off the session moments before everything kicks off. I'll ask for. So you're heading directly to speak to the Rivers Pudding. PC Lewis. Feels silly. I will ask for a social check here. You call back up,
silly.
Catherine. How have things been going? Give us an update.
Well, I mean, I was just looking through my notes to find her last name because what's her last name?
I'm just going to look through my notes to find her last name.
Surely Art has it recorded as foremost.
I'm going to be a little slow getting this, I'm afraid.
Alf.
Derwin.
No sign of last name, so let's go with Catherine for now, and we'll find. I'll confirm as soon as I flick through. I don't want to make people sit
what's
here.
your surname, PC Lewis? And maybe that just skips a step.
Very good. We did have a joke about that, I'm sure. My point is, I don't know if we're on first name terms.
We established at the gap
question.
between.
We are?
You've been getting quite close, I believe. I seem to remember you rolling. Was it Art rolling particularly well on setting?
That's right. Pudding seems to be doing a good job of finding excuses for us to get together. All right, so I'll take it. I'll give her a call, and it'll be first name terms. And yes, I'll just say. Catherine, rather.
Her name
large...
is Catherine Lehre, I think. Leah.
Leah,
maybe Leah. I'm not entirely sure. What?
There you go.
From my scrolls, it looks like Lehr, but it could be Lear. I'm not sure, but yes, that appears. You're right, Dave. I do have it in my notes.
I've also just found it. I swear. Leah. Perfect. I actually had an L-A.
Yeah, I also I found it here too.
A-E-R?
Yeah, I think that's just my terrible pronunciation of written words. But
can't say. All right, well, it doesn't matter. Apparently we're on first name terms now. So yeah, I'll give her a call and say, Catherine, have quite a large favor to ask. If you happen to know anyone at the Tate who can allow us to take a look around the next hour or two before an event tonight, that would go a long way in helping us in a present investigation.
She's very happy to hear from you. Maybe a little unhappy that you've called about work, but
please tell me if I'm anywhere near this, I'm just gonna go ask her for dinner.
I think everybody in the vicinity just turns around.
Hit me with the social check if you would.
Should I argue luck? Because I'm asking if she actually knows someone, unless I need to do the social check to see if she's actually going to help or not.
I think the social check is going to set whether or not how the tone of the tone of
Jim?
her
My
help.
only pitch is I am also genuinely here, and a big part of the favor is getting me in, because
That's
I need
true.
to be. So, and I am technically above base in social. I have 40 in it, not 30.
There
so
you go.
I was
So if I
thinking-
mention
might have
you, if I
met
say,
you.
"Oh, we're going to bring Lucy along,"
Oh,
maybe
Lucy. Well,
likes
she
Lucy a bit
knows
more.
Lucy,
the smell of
genuinely.
cheese.
Everybody
comes
You
around
likes
spent a
Lucy.
while
I
with her
was-
down in the being a very well behaved dog down in the records area of the British Museum.
Jim,
Glad she was here with us for that.
would you
adventure, not the
also
pursuit.
make it maybe a slightly easier check if PC Lewis were to offer dinner as an exchange?
That may need to be a given depending on the level of the role. I think genuinely, Lucy, I think that's that's the domain of a dog character. I think that's a bonus die. So do you want to take a bonus die, PC Lewis, on this roll?
I'll need it, yeah, at least
Yeah.
one. Okay, very good. I'll give it a go. Let's see what happens. Social is so poor. Oh my!
easy.
Hard
What?
success off the bat.
I'm rolling
That's
terribly
hard
well on all of my
success.
worst skills this entire session. Something is very wrong here.
Something's about to go really poorly.
Well, it just so happened is that Catherine had the evening off and is very happy to. No, in all seriousness, based on your existing relationship with her, she's happy to help. She does mention a few things. She mentions that Ozan is a real strict woman, very, very difficult to work with and very exacting. One of the reasons that there's been such a long time span between the last offset and this one, because it was such a huge thing to get it off the ground and organize it. Apparently this thing was also organized relatively quickly in the scheme of things, based on just how much it came from they'd always been planning it, but then suddenly and we're doing it. But yeah, she can get you into, more importantly than the Tate, which is an open building, so you'd be able to just go in. She can get you to have a look through Turbine Hall and stuff and observe some of the setup material like that beforehand, so that's totally fine.
Fantastic.
And can I get a doggy pass?
Absolutely. People are able to bring companion animals into the Tate as part of the sort of accessibility schemes. So they have procedures in place where they are used to having animals in the space.
And so we want to bring in equipment, right? Are we planning on going in as police, or Jackson, do you want to try and twist this into a favor to be can we get a room we can set up in catering area where we can have our recording equipment and where we can leave our police outfits, so we can just be here in plain clothes?
I like that a lot. That's what we'll do.
With a hard success, I'm happy for that to go through, but what I think I would translate to is that's what you do. You have to then,
That's fine.
you
I
have to
think
start
that's good. I think
leveraging
that's worth
calls. You start getting a place set up, and you're running back and forth. You actually probably get very little time to examine the space as much as set yourselves up in a base of operations nearby.
Prepare for something to go wrong, which it sounds like it could.
And I think our plan will be that we have we can all wear plain clothes, look normal, but have, I guess, phones for contact and everything, and then their actual guns and all that other stuff. I'm trying to see if I need to roll a disguise, because I do have it. I'm going to use it, but I don't think I need to.
We can
just take
find a
off
way
our
to
stuff.
squeeze it in.
Maybe next session.
Pudding, you'll head off as I mentioned, but we'll go through exactly the details of your conversation, because it'll be a larger thing at the beginning of next session. Do you want to, as you make an offering though, describe what that's gonna a bit of what that looks like, and then I will ask you to make probably a power roll here. I think is appropriate.
Yeah, I've said before,
Here's the thing about offerings is they're more valuable if whatever you're offering is more valuable to you.
Mm-hmm.
They can sense how much you care about the thing you're offering, and so that makes it tastier.
So I think then part of the call, if that's something that, let's say I get that from my mum.
Oh, please, I'm sorry.
I get that. No. I love that as this is because I said I wanted to call my mum to work to understand. So I think that'd be a really lovely tidbit that my mum's yeah, that's part of, if you want their attention, you have to give something that matters to you. Trying trying to think of what I would have on me that like I care about a lot.
Or is expensive and hard to get. So I remember there was an early one of in the books of just buying a lot of alcohol.
Yeah,
And
part
giving
of
them
that is
that.
also just because spending a ton of money
Spending a
is
ton
typically
of money
important
on
to basically everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a shorthand way of doing it.
Yeah.
Burn a couple of paychecks.
Like doing something that puts you out a little bit kind of is, yeah.
You could throw in your
It counts.
rucksack.
It counts.
Your
My
poor
rucksack doesn't really. My rucksack does like it's a tool. Probably what I would actually like. I'm just having a look of. We established that like Pudding has always kind of had a vibe with the occult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Pudding will like take their like first set of like tarot cards or oracle cards that they got when they were a teenager from like the New Age section of a Dimmicks, if they have those in whatever the Barnes and Noble, whatever the
Waterstones or Stonewater.
Questions.
just the basic wherever the bookshop that everyone goes to, and there was like a very small New Age section, and they picked up like a little random. This is fully an art thing. You've picked up their first like set of tarot cards that weren't particularly amazing, but they were like the ones that they have that are like their first set of a little occult. And we'll give them a little waft over with some like cleansing herb smoke, etc. Probably you do a little crystal thing. Just get them like nice and clean in the sense of like what they believe clean is based on all the New Age stuff.
Yep.
And then they will I don't necessarily want to. This is also another thing that I'd be like, I'm not sure what me as the player, and I think Pudding as well, would check with Mum. I don't think yeeting a pack of cards into the river is particularly healthy for the river. That is kind of littering. So I don't know, like, if I make an offering, does it just automatically go poof? Or
Done
do
in
I...
style would probably be the best way to say it. Finding maybe a nice quiet part of the Thames where you can get down onto the rocky foreshore and placing it artfully where the tide can lap over it and it can vanish appropriately as per the needs or desires of the river.
Yeah.
Or they just show up and pick it up.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, whatever. Do the thing, leave the stuff, and then I'll do that with the cards, and then I will go back onto the bridge like I normally would, go right in the middle of it and pour the clean water out, as I do every time. So the big thing that I focus on is everything that I bring to your river is clean, because that is what, like, the best thing you can do for an environment is make sure that what you are putting into it is beneficial to it in some way. So for me, that is always clean, clear, unpolluted water and clean, clear, unpolluted tarot cards. And I will go and I'll just be like, okay.
Here goes
hi.
nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll get you
pour it out and just say, and just like very quietly with the pouring of the water, go, hi.
Perfect. I'll get you to make a power roll here. Suspense. The suspense. Ooh, pretty good.
Very nice.
Hard.
Okay.
My power is 80.
Fantastic. And we'll leave things off there to close with Button. A research roll from you.
I made it.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did.
Way
Sorry.
earlier.
My bad. And it's a regular success. You're right.
It is.
So, in which case, just going through a few details for you. Then, as you sit down, it's your happy place at this stage. Do you stay inside the apartment? Sorry, the office space.
Yeah.
Going through.
I'm probably not inside the office space. No, I'd be back at either the Folly or my apartment, depending on where we are treating as. You know, wherever's closest to the venue for tonight, actually.
Folly's pretty close, so may as well go there. Back then.
That way I can use the library if need be, but I've got the books from Pudding and the photos that I've taken, so I'll go through those.
It makes total sense. And going through a combination of those, reading and...
I assume also all the books we found would end up in the Folly library anyway.
So we have to take them there anyway, so when you split off to go to the river, I'll collect the books from you and take them to the Folly, since that's where they're going to have to go anyway.
Exactly. And as you start to study through them, going in detail through both the photographs and then like finding some books and getting the source material from the library, you start to get a clearer picture of things. Blows things off. What you are facing appears to be, well, it appears to be inherited from something called the Worshipful Company of Stationers, which is now echoed down until the inheritor of that is the Stationers Company, but it has almost nothing to do with the previous inheritors of that. It is indeed to do with the Jacobean conflicts in England. So, inheritance conflict between Catholics and Protestants for the Crown of England, but more importantly, related to two printers in London, Thomas Halgreen and Haswell, and specifically, Edward Haswell, sorry. Specifically, you find that they, as well as being printers, appear to have experimented with magic. There's references to them throughout the history of Newtonian magic, until they basically get swept up in the Jacobean conflicts, and one of them is killed, and Haswell, the survivor, vanishes basically into thin air. But not before he is said to have either burnt everything he used, everything he produced with what seems to be magical printing technology, and what he couldn't burn because it was metal, dumped into a river, where it presumably would have sat there for centuries throughout the Great Filth, throughout all of kind of London, and it would have this dumping would have predated the division of the river between Father Thames and Mama Thames, and therefore it is possible that it has even slid under the notice of those individuals. And again, you find terms of this malignancy, this power, basically a possession of living malign intent built within something.
Okay, evil printing press, got ya.
Yeah, that's your angle.
Cool.
And that's what
Evil
you're
ass
probably
printing press.
up against.
I will text people as I find this out. These people are like, I think we're looking for an
Press is
evil,
haunted.
possibly possessed
Is it-
printing press.
Was it the Lutherans that were anti-technology?
Luddites.
Luddites, yeah. Okay, maybe the Luddites were onto something.
Oh, they were
Exactly.
definitely onto
Smash-
something, but that's a whole separate thing.
And as it's like, we're
They were
looking for
definitely
an
onto something.
evil printing press, open through to Lucy and PC Lewis emerging in a giant turbine hall filled with printing presses and all kinds of interesting material and odd people, and we'll leave things there until next time.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Barton. Thank you to
Thank you.
Hey, Jim.
the
Barton.
Yeah, cool, dude.
second in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Short
I'm
end
really
of the
sorry,
story.
Alex. I'm being mean today. Thank you, Alex.
Ow.
Thank you to.
We love you, Alex.
Thank
It's
you.
because Alex just
Yeah.
disappears into the role so much. It's a
vanishes.
compliment.
Exactly. Roll20 and to
Oh,
Sirenscape, tools which we use to improve our games, and to the author of the scenario that we just ran, who popped up, as well as to the various people behind all of the Rivers of London stuff, and to the audience. We'll be back
Thanks,
next
chat.
week. Yeah, thanks very much, and we'll hit the climactic. I would guess probably.
Will we
final...
hit the books or will the books hit us?
We'll,
Find out
we'll
next
see.
time.
Nice.
Find out soon. All right, thanks everybody. Catch you later. Bye bye.